So often I work with business owners who think good business is taking on any client who will pay them. They don't understand or believe that they can actually attract clients who make their lives easier and their business more joyful. And this leads to more revenue. In this video, I'll show you how you can attract and serve your dream clients for a more successful business. First of all, you have to get clear on who your dream client is. Often when we start working with clients, we find that they've outgrown who they thought their ideal clients were or who they thought their dream clients were. As their business has evolved, as they've evolved, as their programs or packages have evolved, their clients maybe haven't evolved with them. And maybe this is how you're feeling right now. It can feel like there's a mismatch in what you're delivering or what you're offering and the clients who are showing up. So this is a sign that you need to take a moment and get really clear on who your dream client is. Now, an easy way to do this is to think about your favorite client. Who's your favorite client in your business? That one who lights you up, who's easy to work with, probably pays you on time, refers other clients, right? And the question to ask yourself is, if I built a client profile based on that client, what would my business be like? And right away, typically a limiting belief comes up that says, well, that's not possible. There's not enough of those clients out there. And that's a lie. The truth is, there's more than enough dream clients for you too, but the first step is to make that list of all the attributes of your favorite client so you can make the decision that you want to work with more of them. The second trick to landing your dream clients is to make sure, and I was alluding to this before, to make sure your belief is in alignment with your dream client, believing that it's even possible. And so think about it now, think about your favorite client and ask yourself, what would it be like if my whole business was filled with clients just like that one? And get a sense of that, really lean into it. And then notice what's your belief about that? In other words, what's your limiting belief about that? And kind of just lean into that for a moment. And whatever that limiting belief is, I want you to ask yourself this. What are 3 things that are potentially not true about that limiting belief? Now, this kind of seems like an odd question and often scrambles the brain for a minute. It's like, what? What do you mean, what's not true about it? Because I know a lot of things that are probably true about it. But when you ask yourself what's not true about it, your brain will go there and you'll start to come up with some things. Like maybe what's not true about there not being enough of those types of clients for you is I always say this, right? There's 8 billion people on the planet. There's enough clients for everyone. There's enough dream clients for you. So when you say that to yourself, you start to see how the limiting belief starts to fall away, right? What else is not true about it? Well, I don't know that it's not possible for me. I haven't made the decision that I'm only going to work with dream clients, right? So I haven't even tested it. What else isn't true? Well, I know other businesses who only work with their dream clients. That's what they do day in and day out. They seem to really love their business. So again, if it's possible for them, it's possible for me too. So you see how you do this? You just start to peel that limiting belief away. And underneath all of that, you can say, you know what? Not only is it possible for me to only work with dream clients, it's what I desire most. It's what I'm being called to. And underneath that, it's the opportunity for you to say no to clients who are no longer a fit. Now that can stretch you a little bit as well, because saying no to clients who aren't a good fit means that you're saying no to money possibly coming in, right? And that can feel a little disconcerting. But I want to assure you that when you start to say no to clients who aren't a good fit, your confidence starts to grow that you can say yes to those who are. Actually, at the end of this video, I have a story about a sales team that I tried to coach for 6 months, but it turned out to be a disaster. So stick around to hear about that mess. And also, anyways, the third trick to land your dream client is to use the 50 ideas process. When you feel stuck, this is one of my favorite things to kind of shake it out to figure out, how could I work with these ideal clients? Here's what's behind the 50 ideas. All you do is take out, your favorite journal and a pen, and you start to write down all of the ways in which you could only work with your ideal clients. You could even phrase a question as, what's the fastest and easiest way for me to work with 20 ideal clients every month, for example? And then start to write the answers. Now, I'll tell you this, it's going to be a stretch to come up with 50 ideas, but on the other side of that 50 ideas, you'll find gold. In fact, once you have the 50 ideas, then I recommend that you break it down to your top 10. And then once you have your top 10, break it down to your top 5. In that list of your top 5 ideas, you will find gold. You will find the way that's probably been waiting for you. Now, unfortunately, when we get that list and we get those ideas, we're often in a little bit of resistance to take action with them, right? So maybe there's the top 2 ideas and you're like thinking, okay, I could take action with this. This definitely feels like a direction I could go, but maybe I have some resistance. Maybe it's outside of my comfort zone. And this is where I really want to encourage you to push through. Even if it feels uncomfortable, do it anyway. Take that next step, because that's what's bringing you, or I should say that's what will bring your ideal clients to you. If you're looking for inspiration, my channel is full of business, sales, and marketing ideas. So don't forget to subscribe below. 4th, make it easy for them to find you and for you to find them. Once your ideal clients get to your sales page or your web page, you want to make sure that it's really easy for them to know which step to take next. In other words, what is the client journey or the customer journey for your dream client? This might even be a little bit different, or this, just asking this question might make you realize that it's time to tweak one of your packages. It's time to increase your pricing. It's time to shift something in the process. Notice what's coming up in this area. And also, if this is confusing and you're wondering, like, what does this really mean? This is where marketing really comes into play. And we often think marketing is one thing, or, marketing, someone starts over here and then they find me here. Marketing is everything. And I'll give you an example. I was speaking on a summit one time and there was a client who was watching, and the summit was recorded. So it wasn't like it was live. I didn't see the client, but the client watched the summit and was directed to, at the end of the summit, download my free Quantum Revenue Expansion Masterclass. Went to my website, downloaded the free class. After she downloaded it, she enjoyed it, and she said, I wanted to learn more. So then she went back to my website, hung out on my blog. On the blog, she found out I had a podcast, went and listened to a couple of the podcasts. And on one of the podcasts, we invited her to take a next step to book a call with us, which she did. And that's how she ended up in our world. And I share that with you because marketing is everything. That's why you want to be visible in a lot of places, because you never know where someone's going to find you. Once they find you, though, you want to make sure that they have a clear next step that they can take from either the blog, from the website, from the podcast. In other words, where are you leading them? Where do you lead your dream clients to find you? As I shared at the beginning, I promised I'd tell you a story about a team of 10 salespeople who I was hired to work with that didn't want to be coached at all. And I still remember meeting the sales team for the first time and getting the sense that, they were just in a lot of resistance. They were in a lot of resistance. They didn't want to be coached because the truth was they weren't being held accountable. The owner of the company didn't hold them accountable, so they didn't have to come into the office. There was really nothing that they absolutely needed to do because they got paid anyway. The only person on the team who wanted to be coached was their top salesperson. She was already successful. She wanted to have more success. She wanted me to hold her accountable, which I see often. Top performers want to be held accountable, probably like you do. You probably love coaching. You probably love that kind of support. Anyway, fast forward over 6 months, it was miserable. I would show up and I would find that the salespeople didn't, show up for our meetings. They had a lot of excuses. They didn't come into the office, although that one salesperson came in over and over again. What I can tell you is at the end of that contract, because I finished the contract, I finished the agreement. At the end of the contract, I remember thinking it just, it felt off. And in my heart of hearts, I knew that I never wanted to work with a sales team like this again, at least not one that didn't want to be coached. What became clear to me is that I didn't have to work with clients who weren't a good fit. It took me a long time to get that, but then I realized I don't ever have to work with clients like this again. Once I got that clarity and I made that decision, I never looked back. And since then, myself, our team, we've been very discerning about the clients who we do work with. We want to work with clients who are highly coachable, clients who are ready to go to the next level, clients who don't live in excuses, but they're excited about, moving through resistance and doing whatever it takes to get to the next level. Clients who are probably at about 200,000 in revenue, want to hit 500,000 or want to hit $1 million. We're really clear on who that client is in terms of the deliverables they want, and also though, who they are and how they show up in the world. 4 tricks to land your dream client. First, you have to get really clear on exactly who your dream client is. Second, your belief has to be in alignment with the idea that landing your dream client is possible. Third, take yourself through the 50 ideas process and come up with 50 ways to land your dream client. And fourth, make it easy for your dream client to find you. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever had a dream client seemingly just find you out of the blue. And after you ask them, where did they actually find you? Next up, how does social media marketing help a business grow? And remember, your 2X is waiting for you too.